In this house, promises are not vows. They are chains. Every smile hides a bargain. Every touch, a debt. Tonight, the masks tighten. Shadows grow bolder. And the past refuses to stay buried. Subscribe and rate this story from 1 to 10 in the comments.
Through the slightly ajar door, the shadowed man from the wedding appears, eyes fixed on her, silent, observing, waiting. He doesn't move closer, just watches. A warning, a reminder that someone knows, someone sees beyond the masks. The bride shivers, sensing his gaze as both threat and salvation. The grandmother's story deepens. The grandmother sits, cane resting on the floor, eyes piercing. Your mother, she thought she could escape it. My daughter believed love could survive these walls. She was wrong. The same as I was, and now you. Understand this, child. Our family does not forgive easily, does not forget, does not love freely. You are not marrying a man. You are marrying a past, a history of humiliation, of deals, of sacrifices. The bride's chest tightens. She swallows, trembling. No words come, only fear. Secrets of the past. A lavish party in the 1980s, candles guttering, a secret room, papers signed under the table, a scandal buried, a child hidden, a father's face pale with rage, a mother's hands trembling, alliances formed on whispers, friendships shattered. The pattern repeats, waiting for the right bride. The groom's final reminder. He approaches again, eyes fixed, hands steady, no warmth. Do you understand what you are asking of me, what this family has done? Do not forget, you are a part of something larger, something older, something you cannot fight. Her body stiffens, the room tilts, the walls seem to close in. Every breath a reminder, she is trapped. Shadowed man watches again. From the corner of the room, the shadowed man leans slightly forward. His eyes meet hers for a fraction of a second. No words, only warning. She understands. She is not alone. But help is not guaranteed.
The mansion was quiet. The echoes of the previous night's chaos still clung to the corridors like smoke. The bride moved through the hallways, veil gone, shoulders tight with dread. Every portrait, every gilded frame seemed to watch her, whispering secrets she could barely comprehend. She wasn't alone. Not entirely. A shadow lingered in the hallways. The stranger from the wedding, the man who had observed her silently, eyes sharp, calculating, almost protective. Who is he, really? In her chamber, a subtle movement caught her eye. On the dressing table, an envelope appeared, unmarked, waiting, as if it had been there all along. Hands trembling, she opened it. Inside, photographs, documents, files, evidence of deals, betrayals, debts paid in silence. Some pictures were old, yellowed, decades-old scandals that the family had buried. Others recent. The groom meeting people in shadows, agreements signed under candlelight, alliances made with whispers. This is why I was chosen. not for love, not for loyalty, but as insurance. She sank into the velvet chair, clutching the envelope to her chest, heart hammering. The silence pressed against her like stone walls. She could almost hear the whispers of generations past. Do as we say, survive, endure. From the doorway, the shadowed man stepped closer, eyes locked on hers. No anger, no mockery, only warning. A faint click of polished shoes echoed in the vast room. They've always used women like you. Always. You are never alone, but they will try to convince you that you are. The bride shivers. His words are both comforting and terrifying. A hand brushes against the envelope accidentally. Her pulse jumps. Then, what do I do? You watch, you wait, you learn, and when the time comes, you strike.
She nods, though uncertainty threatens to consume her. The man retreats into the shadows, leaving only the echo of his warning. Meanwhile, in the study, the family's gathered. The bride's father, jaw tight, slammed a hand on the polished table. She's seen too much. Stop her from digging any deeper, or everything collapses. Control her. Keep her close. Make sure she doesn't find out what's already been done. This marriage is our shield, not a celebration. Words whispered. Deals made in shadows. Alliances brokered in corners of the room where no light fell. The bride was at the center of a storm she had yet to understand fully. I am nothing, yet everything. A symbol, a weapon, a mistake waiting to be exploited. The bridesmaid's subtle move. Sophia appeared at a distant window. A faint reflection of candlelight bounced off her silk dress. Her smile barely visible, her eyes sharp, calculating. Not innocent, not entirely. Her gaze met the bride's. A silent message passed between them. You are being tested, and I know the rules. The bride shivered. No one could be trusted. Not the groom, not the family, not even supposed allies. That night, the bride pieced together fragments of the past. The grandmother's confession, the hidden envelope, the whispers, the secrets, the deals buried like corpses in shallow graves. All this was waiting for me. A cycle of shame, power, and control. And I am the latest pawn. Her reflection in the mirror stared back at her, eyes wide, lips pale, chest tight. The veil of comfort, if there had ever been one, had long been ripped away. Her phone buzzed. A call. Unknown number. She hesitated. Every instinct screamed ignore it, but curiosity, or perhaps inevitability, made her answer. Do you understand now? Every choice you think you make is already made for you. The line went dead. Silence pressed down like a shroud.
Who is speaking? Ally? Enemy? Ghost? The hidden room. Following a hunch, she wandered deeper into the mansion. A corridor she had never noticed before. Paintings of ancestors lined the walls. Eyes followed her. Every step echoed. A door, slightly ajar. She pushed it open. Inside, a hidden study. Papers strewn across a desk. Files labeled with decades-old scandals. Names crossed out in crimson ink. Dates carefully circled. She realized these were records of every betrayal, every secret, every sin the families had tried to bury. Her hands shook. This is bigger than me, bigger than love, bigger than marriage. Confrontation in the shadows. From the hallway, footsteps. The shadowed man appears again. Closer this time, standing just behind her shoulder. Do you see now? You are not imagining it. The past lives here. It shapes everything, and they will try to make you part of it. Her voice trembles. Then I have to survive somehow. He nods. No further words, only the silence of understanding. Returning to her room, the lights flicker. Her phone buzzes again. Unknown number. If you speak, your family falls. Her heartbeat echoing, slow exhale. The bride freezes. Her reflection in the mirror stares back, wide-eyed, lips trembling. The veil of safety has vanished. The cycle of secrecy, control, and sacrifice is closing in. The past is alive, and it's hunting me. The house was quiet. Too quiet. The echoes of the wedding, the exposure, and the whispered threats still lingered in every corner. The bride sat alone in her chamber, hands clasped over the envelope she had received the night of the revelation. Her mind raced. Every secret I've uncovered is worse than the last, and I am trapped between them all. Who can I trust? The shadowed warning. A knock at the door, soft, polite, calculated. The bride's pulse quickened. Who could it be now? Another threat? Another trap? A figure stepped into the room. The shadowed man from the wedding. He wasn't threatening, not yet, but his eyes, they carried knowledge. Knowledge that weighed heavier than any weapon. Shadowed man, you've seen too much, and they will not forgive it. I've only just begun to see the truth. What do you mean? Who will not forgive? Shadowed man.
Your family, his family, the name, all of it. You are the bridge, and bridges burn. The bride felt cold. I am the fire starter and the flame. A discovery. Determined, she returned to the study. The envelope, the files, the photographs. They all hinted at a hidden history. A ledger carefully marked, a family tree inked in secrets. Names she knew, names she loved, names she trusted. Father, uncles, Alexander, I trusted you all, and yet all of you are pieces in a game I never agreed to play. Her eyes fell on one photograph, decades old. A young man, handsome, laughing with a woman in silk. Not her grandmother, not anyone she had met, but the resemblance, the date. It was the seed of everything that followed. So this is why. Why my marriage? Why the arrangements? Why the sacrifices? The confrontation? Did you know? Did you plan all of this? Were you part of it? Some things are larger than us. Larger than love, or hate, or marriage. You are part of a legacy, Isabella. And I am its keeper. Legacy? Keeper? I am not an object. I am not a tool. And yet, I am both. And the others, my family, your family, are we just pawns?
Every pawn is a choice. Every choice is a risk. Every risk comes with a price. The threat in the dark. Trust no one. Not even him. Not even your own blood. Every family has its skeletons. Every dynasty has its curse. And you are in the center of it all. In the center, surrounded. How do I survive? He handed her a folded note, weight in his palm. She unfolded it. One sentence. The past is not dead, and it's reaching for you. The decision. I must decide. Do I fight? Do I bend? Or do I vanish into the shadows myself? Her hand trembled over the envelope, the files, the photographs, the secrets. The choice was no longer love or even survival. It was power, and who would control it? A distant sound, a phone vibrating, a new message. We are watching every step, every choice. One false move and the fire begins. The bride's chest heaved, eyes wide, heart pounding. Then the game begins, and I will play. The hall had barely begun to recover from the whispers and threats of the night before. Back in the hall, her thoughts whispered, "Smile, just smile. They're all watching. The world expects me perfect, but perfect is a lie." The stranger's revelation. Then she saw her, a woman. Not a figure of scandal, but elegance. Quiet fury radiating from every line of her body. She didn't scream. She didn't need to. Her hand raised. A phone. The giant screen at the reception flickered. And then the images appeared. Videos. The groom, in moments meant for secrecy. Late night whispers. Promises of forever. Not to the bride. Not to her. The entire hall froze. Gasps cut like knives. The groom's father slammed his fist against the table. "Shut it down!" Men rushed, scrambling to unplug the feed, but the whispers had already escaped. Slithered into the air. Phones. Hashtags. Chaos. The bride's eyes locked on him. The man she had trusted. Her perfect union. Tell me it's a lie. Silence. His silence louder than any confession. The stranger's lips curved in a faint, knowing smile. He belongs to me. He always has. Her heart hammered. The game was no longer private. It was public. And she was in the crossfire. Nightfall and the envelope. Night fell heavy. Alone in her room, the bride found an unmarked envelope slid beneath the door. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. Inside, photographs, documents, accounts. Her heart stopped. Not for her groom's betrayal. She had seen that. No, it was her own family. Her father, her uncles. Deals stained in blood. Secrets wrapped in polished reputation. Corruption buried under centuries of wealth and influence. She dropped the papers, chest heaving. This was never about love, not even about power. This is survival. And I am the collateral.
The mirror and the question. The bride stared at her reflection. Veil long discarded, gown wrinkled from tension.
jewels glinting coldly in chandelier light. Then, who do I belong to? Love or power? To them or to myself? Her voice cracked as she whispered it aloud. Then who do I belong to? Outside the window, the city roared. Reporters screamed questions. Flashes burned the night. Her life had become public property. The final threat. A text buzzed on her phone. One line. If you speak, your family falls. Her chest constricted. Speak or protect them? Protect them or protect myself? And no one can survive this intact. Everything I believed in, every vow, every promise, was a lie, a trap. And now I must choose the battlefield I will fight on, or I will burn with it all. The closing scene. The bride sank onto her bed, clutching the envelope to her chest. The room was dark, the city outside alive with chaos. Her reflection in the window stared back at her. A queen, a prisoner, a weapon. Cameras clicked relentlessly. Reporters whispered in clipped tones. Guests smiled too wide, smiles sharpened by hidden agendas. At the center, the bride and groom stood side by side, hands entwined like strangers forced into a handshake. Her thoughts whispered, "Smile, stay perfect. If they see fear, it will consume me. If they see doubt, they'll own me." Her gown flowed like liquid silk. Jewels stitched into every seam sparkled like cold fire. Her veil trembled with each shallow breath. To the world, she was a queen. To herself, a prisoner draped in white. The groom's tuxedo was impeccable, his jaw sharp, his smile rehearsed. But she had seen behind it, the shadows lurking in those eyes. Secrets. Too many secrets. The MC's voice rang, cheerful, oblivious. Ladies and gentlemen, the union of two dynasties, a love story the world will never forget. Her breath caught. Love story? No, this was politics, power, survival wrapped in silk and diamonds. The pawns on the board. It had started with whispers. A bridesmaid, innocent eyes, careful lips, dropped the first hint. Then came the stranger in the shadows, the lover who knew too much, holding proof like a dagger pressed against the heart of both families. Then the drunken brother, spilling truths the family had hoped would rot underground. Daniel, she doesn't even love him. Now, the spiral had gone too far. The groom's lover had evidence, not just of betrayal, but of financial crimes, political deals, skeletons that could shred two dynasties in a heartbeat. And she had seen the files. Worse, her own family's name carved into every page, every ledger, every account. No one was innocent. Her hands trembled. Cameras demanded perfection. Smile, smile, smile. Her father's whisper cut sharp as glass. Father, hissing. Do not falter. The family name must be protected. If you burn, we all burn. Her knees almost gave way. Protect the family name? And her own name? Her life? A wedding drenched in lies. The vows were spoken, but they weren't vows of love. They were contracts, signed in the silence between forced breaths. When the groom slid the ring onto her finger, he leaned close, lips brushing her ear. Groom, whisper, cold. Remember, this marriage is not about you. It never was. Her chest tightened. Applause thundered, yet the noose tightened invisibly around her neck. Behind the curtains, away from the crowd, in a hidden chamber behind the ballroom, the real drama unfolded. The groom's secret lover stood, envelope clutched to her chest, photographs, bank statements, recordings, eyes glinting, thrill of power alive. She held leverage. The bride's father stormed in. Father, angry hiss. What do you want? The lover's smirk sliced the air. Lover, what I deserve. The bride, pressed against the wall, watched through a crack in the door. Her world tilted. This wasn't just betrayal. It was extortion, a chess game. And she, the queen, sacrificed for the board. Cameras, lies, and smiles. Back on stage, the couple was forced to dance. Violins sang a haunting melody like weeping ghosts. Her smile, painted on, her eyes glistening not with joy but fury. Reporters scribbled notes, whispers dancing. They look perfect together. The power this union represents, a dynasty reborn. No one saw the cracks, or perhaps they did and chose silence. After all, power buys silence. The turning point. The MC announced speeches. Fathers raised glasses. Mothers dabbed at eyes. Guests clapped on cue. But then, the atmosphere shifted. The groom's secret lover appeared, no longer in shadows. Tall, composed, phone raised, recording everything. Her blood ran cold. No words were needed. One click, one upload, and chaos would ignite.
Suddenly, she realized, I'm not just a victim. I am a weapon. The devil's choice.
Cameras turned to her. Say nothing. Her mother mouthed, smile. The groom's grip tightened around her waist, almost bruising. Then she spoke. Calm. Too calm. They said love would bind us, but this isn't love. This is theater. And I am done being an actress. Gasps, camera flashes. The groom's face froze. The lover's smirk widened. Fathers exchanged panicked glances. The orchestra faltered mid-note. Whispering, heartbeat rising. Suddenly, the lights flickered. A power outage swallowed the hall. Voices rose, shouts echoed, chairs scraped. A hand, whose hand, grabbed hers, pulling her into shadows. If you want freedom, run. If you leave, you destroy us all. Two hands, two futures. The bride's breath came in ragged gasps. Her heart pounded like war drums. The family name, the dynasty, the honor. They wanted her silence, but freedom was calling. The lights returned. Cameras focused. The bride was still on stage, but her hand was no longer in her groom's. She stood alone. And then, her voice steady, shaking the hall. The family name must be protected, they say. But tell me, what is a name